Kevin Diggs, BullCityRising.com. I'm here today talking a little bit about a presentation I gave recently for the Durham Chamber of Commerce's ChamberU series. We're talking about to blog or not to blog. I'll be giving a little bit of annotation for each of the slides here to recap what was discussed at the September 16th session. In this presentation today, we'll talk more about what blogs are, how they work if you've not had a blog before, some thoughts about how you can start your own blog or improve one that you may have begun, give you some tips and some gotchas that new bloggers run into sometimes. And finally, if you're a business owner or a nonprofit organization that gets blogged about or sees yourself referred to in blog comments, we'll talk a bit about how to manage that, how to handle the expectations around social media. So really, what is a blog? We hear that term frequently. It has different meanings to different people. To me, as a blogger, there's three keys to going to every blog. The first is that a blog is powered by a content management system, sometimes it's called. Basically, a word processor-like interface with which you can actually compose your post, upload images, and do all the work without having to know HTML or any kind of special computer languages. Secondly, blogs feature easy-to-use subscription options. RSS is the most common. Basically, this is a way that someone can get new content from your site, either full articles or a synopsis if you choose, by clicking the usually orange and white RSS icon on the page. The advantage there is that a blog reader doesn't have to seek out your site and all the other blogs that they like. They can go to their RSS reader or a service like Google and view the latest information for all their blogs at once. Finally, most blogs allow online comments. It's a very common and popular feature, allowing a deeper interaction and engagement with readers than traditional web pages have. There's a variety of reasons why you might want to start a blog for your business or organization. For one thing, if you have a website today and you have trouble keeping it updated, a blog can be a great way to more easily manage your web presence. Most blogs will let you put up not just posts, which are more like diary, regular entries, will also let you create static pages. So you can create an About My Business, a Products and Services, a contact page, but they're just as easy to edit as a blog entry would be, so it makes it easier to update your website without IT help. Secondly, a blog can help you to engage more with your customers and peers. When they come to your site, they can find more information simply because it's easier for you to update it and then share it through technologies like RSS subscription. And finally, having a blog can help you establish an online presence for your business or for yourself as an expert. When someone goes to Google or a site like Bing and searches on a topic, if you're writing a blog about it, they'll tend to find it and find you out as a source either to do business with or to engage with in some other way. With a blog, you enter your blogging system, write your post, and the post gets published. The blogging system will post it on your website so the blog entry can be viewable to the world. Also updates that RSS subscription feed for you, and usually tells search engines like Google that there's new content. That way, when others come and search on topics that are covered in your blog or your blog post, they'll be likely to get that as a search result. Then the comments that individual visitors leave continue the conversation and help create more engagement with the original material that you wrote and create ideally a dialogue or conversation. Essentially, there's three different ways to start a blog. Many bloggers start off with a free platform or free system like Blogger. These are available at no cost, allow you to very quickly and easily get started using a blog. They even have themes and templates to make it look attractive. The biggest problem with sites like Blogger is that it can be a little bit hard to get your content out or to eventually customize these the way that you might like. Also, people will start to get to know your blog by the address those sites get you, like myblogsite.blogspot.com. And that certainly works, but if you ever wanted to do more to commercialize your blog or make your blog more engaging, you have thousands of people potentially who know you by your old address. Hosted platforms are options where you pay a company to run your blog for you. It's not very expensive. It can run $5 to $20 or so a month typically. Typepad and WordPress.com are two of the leading companies in this space. The nice thing with these options is that you can connect your own web address or your URL to your blog. So to a customer, they have no idea that your blog isn't being run by you yourself. LA Times' magazine from the newspaper actually has a typepad blog that's just designed to look a little bit more professional than yours or mine might. Finally, you can download most of the common blogging software for a nominal fee or for free and install it on your own servers. This is really best if you have IT staff dedicated or on a contract basis who can spend the time it's going to take to customize it. It gives you ultimate flexibility, the chance to do anything you want with it. For most bloggers starting off who think they want to make a commercial go of it, or that they'll be trying to generate a significant readership, I recommend the second of these two choices to get started. The third choice is always an option that you can migrate to from a hosted platform if you decide it doesn't have the flexibility you're looking for. Deciding to start a blog is a great idea. But before you actually drill in and start setting up the blog and writing, there's a few things I suggest. First, figure out what you're going to blog about. Some people do blog about their everyday life, where they're going to dinner, what's happening with their kids. And those can be popular, but if your blog is unfocused or if you mix subjects like that with other topics, your readership may get confused. Think of it like a magazine or other subscription material where you're spending your time on it because you want to get a certain outcome or certain material. I really recommend figuring out why you want readership from. What's the motivating factor? In the case of my blog, Bull City Rising, it's Durham news, politics, new businesses, and the like. I try and keep a tab of my audience to make sure I'm following what they're looking for. Secondly, read other blogs like yours. If you're going to do a blog on roller skating rinks, find out if there's other blogs about roller skating rinks, maybe ice skating rinks. Find out the conversations happening in those communities. And look at the number of comments that posts receive. What are posts that are resonating with readers? What are people finding interesting? Next, decide your commitment. Sometimes people ask me how many hours I spend on Bull City Rising. It really varies by the day. I can spend a couple of hours a day, I can spend more, I can spend less. You can choose that for yourself based on the frequency that you decide to post. I know bloggers who are successful posting once a week or 3 times a week. My readers expect a couple, 3 stories a day, but they know I only usually post on weekdays. Whatever you end up setting as your normal schedule, your readers will come to expect, whether you tell them that's your schedule or not. So you may want to spend some time figuring out how much time you really want to blog and make sure that whatever you're going to do, you stick with it. Because you'll find that if your frequency of blogging goes down for an extended period of time, your readership will really drop. And it takes a while to build a readership. Finally, you're going to want to work to find your voice. Find an approach to the subjects that interest you. Get your familiarity with how you like approaching topics. Do you take them in a straightforward way? Are you doing more analyzing of others' work, quoting and responding? Are you trying to work humor in or something else that's a little trickier to write? Figure out what works for you and a way to write that consistently before you get too in-depth in writing articles. Now let's take a look at a few tips for new bloggers getting started. First, especially if you're going with a hosted platform or a do-it-yourself site, as we discussed earlier, you're going to want to register your domain name up front. If you already have a website like mybusiness.com, you can set up your address as blog.mybusiness.com or www.mybusiness.com/blog is also very popular. But think about what you're going to want that name to be. It's easier if you set that up front because, again, readers discover your blog in the form that you'd like it to be. Secondly, you're going to want to find a way to have graphics, images, and photos be a part of the blog. I have an inexpensive digital camera that I carry around to take photographs. Others use a smartphone like a BlackBerry or an iPhone, which can be perfectly fine for the quality that most bloggers post on their sites. But a lot of readers really like to see images to break up the text. Even if it's a drier, more arcane subject, some photos will really help increase readership and lighten the mood. Third, when you decide to start a blog, I strongly recommend that you blog for a few weeks in sort of a dry run. Don't tell people about the blog, don't announce it. We'll have people who just discover it organically. But just go out there and give a start at having folks, or allowing yourself to have some time to try and experience the blog. One of the keys to attracting a readership is to read other blogs first. Find out go back to those blogs that you discovered that are like you or like your blog in your area of interest, and go out and comment on those blogs. You'll find that by commenting and engaging with the material there, others will find their way back to your blog, particularly since most blogs encourage